Thank you, everybody, for joining me. Appreciate it. It is a Sunday, February 13th, here in Bangkok. And this week is rainy, man. It's not the most beautiful weather this week, but there's a 50% chance of rain today, and thus it probably will be raining. I will give it the "it's gonna rain" label today. Uh, just from the looks of things outside, I went outside, I had to let the kitty cat outside, and yeah, it's not very nice weather. The Thai baht is 32.71 to the dollar. The air quality is 107, which is unhealthy for the sensitive. It's 80 degrees, 87% humidity. 90 degrees is the high, 76 the low. Right now, it feels like 88 degrees. That's 9 o'clock in the morning, and feels like 88 degrees, and it's 87% humidity. So, quite hot and muggy. There's a little bit of wind, 5 miles an hour to the west. Visibility is 5 miles. And guess what? For you men, if it's in the United States, you got 2 days. If you're here in Asia or you're somewhere else like Australia, Valentine's Day, the day for love. I don't know who created that day. I should look it up, but I really don't know. It's a Cupid thing, I guess. But listen, my wife and I, we keep it really low key. It's like, happy Valentine's Day, love you. Have a glass of wine together, have a dinner or whatever. That's it. I got her a little chocolate thing the other day. Some chocolate hearts, some nice chocolate. That's about it. To me, Valentine's Day, it should be mutual. And really, it should not be all that important. I don't buy her flowers. I don't really, I used to do the whole flowers thing. Oh, yes, I'm so romantic. No, that's not what it is. It's not about being romantic. First of all, my wife doesn't, she likes the flowers, but she's like, you know what, if you're gonna buy something, buy me a plant. The plant will live. The flowers will die in a day or two. And she's right, So I stay away from the flowers now. If I do buy flowers for any reason, they're really for to decorate the table. And she does that sometimes. We put a little centerpiece on the table. It makes the table look a little nicer. And that's about it. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Mr. Dallo. Sawadee Kap from Bangkok, Thailand. Today we're going to talk about booze, bars, beaches, and temples. Oh, and women. Because, for some people, this is not in the order of importance. And then, of course, you got to have money. So we're not even really going to get into that too much. Because without the money, you're not going to even be able to come here. You're not going to be able to stay here. And so it's very important. Hello, Mr. Allen. What's happening? Hope everybody is okay. Remember to leave a thumbs up. Everybody has to ask, because some people just forget. But do me a favor, if you like what's going on here on the channel, if you like this stream, then remember to leave a thumbs up, please. Just click that thumbs up. Doesn't cost you anything. You want to subscribe, click the notification bell. Everything else, you want to support the channel, whatever, just watch. That's great. Or just look down in the description. That tells you everything you need to know. So there we are. We got that out of the way. And, this is an idea, not this title, but I have another title that I've been thinking about for a book. And I look at this there are other ways that I would like to write this, but in the polite, I try to remain somewhat polite. Booze, bars, beaches, and temples. And this is the thing. A lot of guys back home will be, yeah, I'm really into Thai culture. I'm gonna come over and yeah, I'm just going there because they got some great temples there, and I'm really fascinated by Southeast Asian culture. When the truth is, you know what they're coming for. Yeah, they might go see a temple, but they're gonna have some chick from the night before showing them around. Some chick from the bar. So, well, this is not true with everyone. I don't want to lump everybody into the same pot. This is why people come here. They come here to have a good time. They come here because they want to go to the bars. They want to have a drink. Maybe they like the beaches, or maybe they want to go up in Chiang Mai or wherever, or down in the south somewhere. And I'm going to go see a couple of temples. I'm going to go sightseeing. The temples are part of the sightseeing. And, I hate to say this, but quite frankly, they're coming out with this another campaign here in Thailand. Good morning, everybody. Nice of everybody to join me. People are starting to come in. That's great. Let me see something here. All right. Listen, there are some great beaches here. If you haven't seen any great beaches in Thailand, then you haven't been around Thailand. That's what I'll say. Because I have been around the country, and there are some shit beaches here and there, like in Pattaya. But there are some fantastic beaches. And you just need to take a little time and go there. And that's another thing. A lot of guys, they never want to go outside of Bangkok, or they don't want to go outside of normal places like Phuket, Pattaya, something like that. I mean, listen, there are some beaches that are just average. But I'll tell you what, go somewhere in the United States, the vast majority of the beaches are okay. Some of them are shit, some of them are, okay, some of them are decent. But, if you guys watched, I went to Kokut and I streamed from there. And, granted, I was at a private resort. And it was a private beach, and it was fantastic. And, the view was spectacular. You go down, you go to Riley or somewhere like that. I mean, for me, that's I love it. I love it. Go to Khao Lak, which is where I went, and I don't know, 6 months ago, 9 months ago, I don't even remember. The time flies, and I got no time for thinking about the past. If it's not helping me now, I'm not thinking about the past. I'm thinking about the present. Dre, how's it going? And so, this is the thing. There are plenty of guys who come for the beaches. And there are plenty of guys who come for the bars. The guys who come and they say they're coming for the temples, come on, man. Really? The vast majority of temples are all the same. That's my opinion. Now, you go in some places, you see the white temple, you see the blue temple, you see the gold, the big gold Buddha, that kind of stuff. Okay, there are some differences between them. But for the most part, a temple is a temple, and I'm not a religious person. So, I don't get all that much joy of going to the temples. Now, obviously, I'm in a different position than a lot of people coming here to be a tourist, or even who live here as a single man. Somebody like Pattaya Bob, his life is much different than mine. And I don't mind it. That's the thing. If I ended up and I had and I was living a life that I hated, and my wife and I, we just hated each other, and it was we're gonna stay together for the kids, and she was just hideous. She was just terrible. She was like a Western woman in a bad relationship with a guy in the United States or something. Well, then that'd be a little bit different. But I've been with her for a long time. I've been with her for almost 23 years, something like that. And there's a reason for it. We met. We were both younger. I'm not professing that everybody has to come here and get married. That's not the answer. However, what I do think is great is, and I don't think it's quite like everybody thinks here, but is that women here, if you were to get a divorce, you're not gonna be automatically found to pay half, like in some areas of the United States. She cheats on you, and you got to pay half of all your assets. So I like the fact that that hasn't happened here, although it can happen where the woman can go to court and all that kind of stuff and get money from you. But for the most part, that doesn't really happen, not like it does in the United States. And the women don't have that same attitude of, I'm so entitled. And so I think that's, if you're an older guy and you're coming with your family, okay, that obviously you're in a different category. But if you're a young single guy like I was when I came here, now for me, I was like, okay, I'm going to go there. I'm going to train in Muay Thai. I'm going to check out the place. And, if there's if there's some good-looking women around, that's the icing on the cake, So, that's what it was for me. Now, when I came here, I was like, wow, I'm really into this culture. I really like how the people are. I like how things work here. Obviously, this is almost 30 years ago, and things were a bit different. Everybody did not carry around a cell phone and look at their cell phone all the time. That's a huge difference. I walk through the mall 4 or 5 times a week, and almost every time I'm in the mall, somebody almost walks into me because they're too stupid to raise their fucking head up and not look at their phone. You know what you do if you got to look at your phone? You step off to the side of where everybody's walking, and you stop, and you look at your phone, and you do what you got to do there. You sit down at a chair. They have chairs throughout the benches throughout the mall. You sit down on the bench, you do your business, you get up, and then you start walking again. That's what somebody with half a brain does. But that's not what they do. And so things have changed. And I would not want to be dating nowadays. Not here. Not anywhere. I wouldn't want to be dating anywhere. First of all, because I'm older. Second of all, because even here, I think some of the listen, things have changed. People have gone online, and they've got the females got more options. It's much easier for them to hook up. Back in the day, think about it. It was some of the girls back in I still remember seeing videos about it and watching it, and I still remember women in the village where I was for a short period of time coming to me asking me to help them. And what they would do is they would set some kind of a little ad out somewhere online. Guys would write them, or they would meet a guy, in town or at some club or something, and they would go back home, stay with their, mama and papa or whatever, or sister or aunt or somebody. And then they would start writing back and forth to this person. And they might not have spoke a word of English. And that's where I came in. And, I was like, oh, no. I can't do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to get involved in affairs of the heart. But then what happened is they got smart. They were like, hey, I don't need, I got one guy here. Hey, how about I got 20? And if 3 of them are sending me 10,000 baht a month, I'm doing all right. That's how it used to be. Now, everything is faster. They want to hook up, they just go online. Boom, there's something they can, someone they see, maybe I can hook up with this guy. They throw out their feelers to 100 guys. Maybe they get 10 guys that are interested in them, or 50. And then, they get some guys on the hook. And if someone really was into them, or a few of the guys were really into them, then they started with, I would like to come online more often, but I can't afford the internet. And I can't come into town. It costs me money every time I come into town. Well, baby, I wanna talk to you all the time. Well, then why don't you buy me a phone? And guys, obviously they're doing that. And you listen, even when I was doing the Chowderhead videos, it wasn't like it is now. I mean, it's changed a little bit. Things are a little faster, a little easier now. But back then, it was quite a bit different. And I still remember driving around on a motorcycle in Isan, up in Udon Thani and the surrounding areas, Nong Khai, and you see some girl and she just start talking to you. You got girlfriend? That kind of thing. Or you go into a little market and it was like, some old lady. Oh yeah, you'll have girlfriend? I'd be like, I wouldn't say anything a lot of the time because I don't think it's any of their business. Yeah, I watched the Tinder Swindler, and I thought it was pretty good because it shows just how people can be so gullible. And that's what happens here. And I think that, and listen, it's a small percentage of the women here that do this stuff. Listen, all women, they're doing something. They want something. Just like men want something. They either want to get in their pants, they want them for a long-term girlfriend or wife or whatever, they want them to have their babies, but people want something. I would never, when I was single, I would never just go out with a girl just because, I'm just going to go out because I know that we're just friends and I'm going to go out. No, I wouldn't do that. I would not do that. Hey, Bilal, thank you very much. Chokdi, you are the first of the day. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Love that. Hopefully the PayPal will still be working in another month or so, a couple of weeks. Hopefully everything is... I just got another letter saying, everything's okay with your account. I'm like, okay. Which, that's the money aspect. The United States does a good job of... They're trying to do a better job at finding out where everybody's money's going, what they're doing with it. And really, to me, it's like, hey, it's none of your fucking business. I don't live there. It's not your business. Something that really bothers me is to see, like, in the UK and Australia, if you're out of the country for a certain period of time, you're not allowed to get your pension or something like that. I think that's how it works. And I mean, like, wait a minute. So you work all your life, and then because you decide, listen, I want to go somewhere else, they just say, oh, well, sorry, no pension for you. Makes no sense to me. Anyway, where were we? Temples. Temples are, they're a part of the tour. That's what I would say. If you're going on a tour, make sure that there's only one temple on the tour. Don't go on one of these tours where there's 10 temples. That's a Thai thing. Or that's a very, very small percentage of non-Thais. I mean, some people are really, really into temples. Okay, good for you. But I say the vast majority of people are not. And so, what are you really coming here for? Now, I'll give you an example. Andy's here. Andy's not out here running around, going from woman to woman, but he's an older guy. And, he's married for a long time. So in that regard, he and I are, the same. I'm not running around. And as they say here, you got one woman, it's one set of problems. You got two women, it's two sets of problems. Three women, it's three sets of problems. The more women you have, the more problems you have. Now, the way to rectify that is if you keep things on the down low and you pay them to go away, which is what this place is great for. If I was a single guy here's something that I thought about last night. And I know a couple of guys who did not follow this advice, and all I hear from them is freaking whinging. All I heard from them was whinging and just complaining about how bad the women are and how bad Thailand is. First thing that I said was, if you come here, remember the golden rule, especially if you are new with the Thai scene. I don't care if they're what kind of working girl they are. Unless you really have an in-depth knowledge of the scene, and I'm talking about the nightlife scene, the working girl scene, unless you really know what you're doing, you have some experience, or you just don't care. Don't get seriously involved with one of these girls. That is the golden rule. Don't get seriously involved with a prostitute. Now, I'm not saying that it can't work, because I know several guys, and I've met several guys over the years, and talked to some guys, and, it was like, oh, I met her, and she was on her second day there, or, whatever it was, whether it was BS or not. And their relationship worked. But that's because they knew the scene, they knew what to expect, they knew how to deal with situations. And sometimes it's about having enough money to be able to rectify any problems. That's one rule. The other rule is, don't come to Thailand and get hooked up and fall in love and think you're going to get married in the course of a year. Not a good move. Not a good move at all. You come to Thailand in the first year, have some fun. Get to know the girls. Go out with them. Bang them. Have a great time. But don't say, oh, yes, honey, I only want you. One moment. One moment, Nikki. Nikki's home. Whoa!
Oh, look,
You got a haircut.
we both got a haircut.
Wow. Come here. You gotta put your head in here. And I got a video of you going up
Yeah.
where your hair is really long. Look at that. Take the mask off. Nobody wants to see you. Take it off. Off. Nobody wants to see a mask on you. That's not reality. Look at that. Huh? You look good.
Yeah.
All right. So you must have got up early, huh?
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get here?
Oh, God. Out at like 7. It's 9.
Took you that long?
Yeah.
A lot of traffic?
Yeah, a little bit. No, I was waiting for the bus.
Okay. Yeah, so you got to learn the bus times. And they're probably going a half hour or under 15 minutes or something. So everything's all right?
Yeah.
Yep, I got a few things for you.
Yeah. Oh, new lock.
I told you I got a lock.
Yeah.
And you get some Oreos and some noodles and other stuff.
Right. Yeah.
How's your supplies holding up? You got water?
Yeah, I got water.
You using that ice chest?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
For what?
For water and drinks.
Okay. And how was your little, you talked to your mother
Yeah.
this morning?
Well, I texted her.
Oh. But she didn't answer back?
No.
Why didn't you answer the phone last night for her?
I was asleep.
I said he's probably
I woke up early.
he's probably asleep, or you're involved in your project.
I did my project and then I slept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You bring your crew over?
No.
No. You haven't had anybody over to your house yet?
No, not yet.
Why not? You gotta move quick, man. All right. Alex is, knocked out, but I'm sure Sid might want to see you. I just took him out. Yeah. He's like, who is this guy?
Did he go outside?
He did. I took him outside. And then, of course, he hid under the water tank, and he did not want to come back. And so I got the pole to kind of sweep him out, and he ran right back into the house. But he was out there for about 15 minutes, so. I mean, you can take him out again if you want. He might like it, but. And I could use another espresso. I've been making them, so, you know. You're home on the weekends. It's like, you know, hey,
Yeah.
you'll be doing the dishes, and there's food in there though. Did you eat this morning?
No.
You hungry?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I got my wallet over there. This guy's wife thinks you look better with short hair, Nick.
Yeah.
You're looking sharp.
All my friends thought that.
What about me? I shave my head. I don't get anything. I get no love. Shave my head. Oh, I didn't shave today. I'm gonna shave before the wife comes on. Forgot to shave this morning. You know, so busy. All right, now where were we? We were. Don't forget to click the join button. That's where we were. Become a Patreon patron. Buy me a coffee. Yeah, buy me a coffee. Nick's making me a coffee. I gotta replenish the supply. Patreon, cryptocurrency. You know, somebody left a message last night and said, Scott, I'm very surprised you have not been saving in cryptocurrency. Now, yeah, I haven't been. And there was a couple of times when I bought some when it was low. And then when it went high, I sold it. And I made a few $100. Other than that, I have not really been involved. And now my wife is involved in it. And I'm starting to feel, I got the FOMO. Is that what it is? FOMO? Fear of missing out. Yeah. I'm starting to get the FOMO. I'm starting to fear that I'm going to miss out on making a bundle of money. And I need to start putting a little bit of money in every month into, you know, into Bitcoin, Ethereum, or whatever it is like that. So anybody, I'm going to have to look at that. I don't even know what I've got there. I know I got Bitcoin. I got Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. I need to put the Ethereum up there. And there was another one I've been meaning to ask Longhorns about. He knows about this one particular cryptocurrency that's real cheap. I forgot the name of it now, though. So this is something else. You know, this is what I mean. You know, it's a busy life. You got to research the stuff. You got to get into everything. You got to put the time in. And I only got limited time. Oh, thank you, Gennaro. Crypto fund. I'm going to put that $10 in, and I am going to see how it does over the course of a year. You know, you put $10 a week in even. That's $520 at the end of the year. If the crypto goes up 20%, you know. The idea is just to keep doing it. So there are some things I'm working on. That was something I thought, I gotta, you know, reallocate some funds. And I really have been thinking about the whole traveling thing. And, you know, I say I don't particularly like traveling anymore. That's not entirely true. I'm just a bit burnt out, you know. I've been traveling. You know, this is the thing. People don't understand. I mean, you look at all the places I went in the last 15 or 20 years, man. I've taken literally a couple hundred trips. I don't know about a couple hundred. Let me think here. 20 years. Well, at least 100. You know, there were times that I was traveling to 3 different places in the course of, say, a month or two. And I'm just I just like being a homebody. You know, I don't know. This is the thing. Like I said yesterday, when you come over here and you're not old, and I'm not saying that everybody who's, say, 60 or 70 really feels their age and needs to feel like an old man. I'm not saying that. But when you start getting older, at least with me and with a couple people that I know, if you have done your bit and you have traveled and you've done enough, like I feel like I've done enough when it comes to traveling. There are a few places I would like to go. Ireland is one of them. I still would like to go to at least some place in Africa. Doesn't have to be the Congo now. And I'd like to spend some more time in Indonesia. And of course, the United States and Ecuador. But other than that, I got really nothing left on my list where I want to go. I mean, I've gone quite a few places. So, that's why I am the way I am. And I make no apologies for it. I don't mind being a homebody, I like watching my kids grow up and all that kind of stuff. And when I came over here, that was not me. That most definitely was not me. So, in some ways, Thailand has changed me. In many ways, Thailand has changed me for the better. And I cannot really think of any ways that it's made me a little more anti-government, but that's the United States as well. That's governments in general. It's not really just the Thai government. Although I do think that their government tends to be quite dysfunctional. And you can see that over the course of the years. It always seems there's something in flux. There's something getting ready to change. And I will say, I don't think that Prayut's going to be in once the election has. I think he's done. And what I'm hoping is that there will be someone more level-headed and progressive in their thinking, where they understand the need to not only cater to tourists and also make this place a place where retirees really want to come and they feel welcome. But also they focus on some other area where their country can grow, and maybe it's technology, but I like the fact that their infrastructure tends to be very good, if you think about it. They have the boat taxi. I say this all the time, but they have the boat taxis, they have the SkyTrain, subway. There's so many ways to get around here. That's the thing. Like, I was thinking about it, why would I get a car? All right, it's nice to go for a drive. It's nice to be able to just get up and go when you want. It's nice to have a truck and be able to move yourself. But, the truth is, I feel much better. I feel like, hey, I can have a chauffeur. And I don't have to worry about maintaining the vehicle, whatever it might be. Now, if I'm out in the middle of nowhere, that's a little bit different. Good morning, Mr. Andy. What's happening? The booze is something, since we're talking about all these things and a little bit more, I got a beer in there, right? If you want it later on today, when your mother comes home, you can have one. There you go. The booze is something that I was speaking to one of my buddies yesterday, and he's like, I said, listen, I'll call you in a little bit. He said, well, make sure you call me after 2 o'clock, 2:30. I said, why is that? Because I need to go get some booze before they shut down until 5. And that's how it works here. Oh well, if you want your booze, you got to get it before 2 o'clock and after, 11? So from 11 to 2 and then after 5. And yeah, you can get some stuff at the little shop houses, but it may or may not be what you want, and your choices are generally pretty limited. But he drinks. He's a drinker. I'm not a drinker. anymore. But he's a drinker, and he hates it. He just hates the fact that they've got to control the booze. If you're coming here and you want to party, the only thing I would say is, the one thing that I notice is when foreigners get in trouble here, when they have problems here, a lot of them are drunk. They're smashed. They don't know what they're doing. They're walking down the street calling people names and, you know, trying to fight people and do all kinds of stupid shit. It's like, well, if you didn't drink so much, if you didn't have such a, you got such, listen, to me, it's a problem if you get that drunk where you start some kind of a problem. And nowadays, you got to think, every time you're out, there's going to be somebody with a camera around you if you're in a city. Now, if you're out in a village somewhere, and you're in the middle of nowhere, and you know, stroll up onto some little old man and he starts yelling at you and you tell him to fuck off, he's probably not going to whip out a cell phone and start recording your rant. But if you're in Pattaya or Phuket or Chiang Mai or Hua Hin or Bangkok, there's going to be people that they see you and they're going to automatically, and it's not going to be me. I mean, you know, I don't really care what somebody does, but some drunk guy goes out and, you know, tells some girl where she can stick it, and she's just minding her own business. It's happened many times, too many times to count. So if you're going to drink, why do I have to even say anything about it? If you're going to drink, at least be responsible. There's nothing wrong with going out and tying one on and getting shit-faced. But you know, other than that, you know, get shit-faced, but be the happy drunk. Don't be the mean, nasty drunk. I just want to tell you, we're all counting on you. Counting on me for what? I got enough people counting on me. Gennaro, you know an awful lot for someone who has not been here all that often. You must do your research. And Gennaro, Choke D, thank you very much, by the way. I don't know what happened here. I actually was thinking this morning that, you know, it might be nice to have a little studio. Set up a studio, get things set up right. Maybe I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to start setting aside some funds for, you know, a little studio. I don't know. Mucho research. Well, that's what I'm for. You got questions? Ask me. But, you know, to a point. You know, one of the best times that I had in a bar where there was almost nobody there was in, well, actually two places. Koh Chang. There was some place right on the beach, and I got a photo of it. I have a fancy mic, but I need to get I need to get a couple of them, the kind that are, you know, the professional level. But, you know, then if I start doing that, then it's like, okay, now I have to have people come in. I need to have people come in and talk to me. And I don't know how well I would do with that. I certainly don't want people coming over to my house here. You know, I got to have a place where it's really kind of set up, where I have a studio kind of away from the house and that kind of stuff. And, I haven't even figured anything out. I already know in my head it's not cheap. Because there's some things I'd like to do. If I'm going to do something like that, if you're going to do something like that, you might as well go for it. You might as well put the money in and go for it all the way, you know. Like I was talking the other day about how you push a button. I forget the name of it. It's like, I think it's for gamers. Probably Bangkok. Bangkok's the place I was drunk. Nana Disco or something like that. Angels Disco back in the day. Yeah. Doing shots with, matching shots with girls, maybe the beer garden. That was another one. Matching shots with the bartenders from behind the bar. I used to know all the girls that worked at the beer garden for years. You know, they worked there for years, and then the place started going downhill. I mean, it never was an establishment where there were. It was it wasn't like a high-so kind of establishment. Well, flaming B-52s. Those were always the favorites. Yeah, I mean, I like the tequila, but a lot of women don't particularly like tequila. A lot of Thai women don't really like tequila. They like drinks that are a little sweeter. But the flaming B-52s were those were the big one back in the day. Bottle of white, bottle of red. How about some rosé instead? Ugh. I don't like rosé, and I do like some white wine. I like Johannesburg Riesling, and I like I like the Sauvignon Blanc. I mean, I'll drink a little wine. I like wine, and I used to go to wine tasting in Solvang, in California. Got back to the hotel around 12-ish. Oh, I didn't know it was his birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. Mitch. Was he 21 now? Let's see here. Yeah, I really disagree about the beach comment. There are some really nice beaches in Thailand where there is no garbage, and I don't know if you guys remember, where was it that I went? Oh, it was when I went to Riley, I believe. I went to Riley, and if some people may remember, I was looking to get on a boat to just go check out some of the islands, and this guy pulled in, and he was dropping off. Some ladies or whatever from their tour, and I just went up to him and said, "Hey, listen, man, how much is it going to cost me for a couple hours, or whatever?" And I think he said it was like 1,000 baht. I said, "Okay, let's go." And he took me to these 3 places, if I remember correctly. One of them was a place where I went and had an espresso. It was this little beach, and they couldn't pull up all the way. You had to walk, like in knee-deep water, and then go up on a little sandbar, and then walk up onto this island. And then there was just and I actually talked to this lady for quite some time. I don't know if you guys remember, but it was a beautiful area, and there was a bunch of Thais there. They were all Thai ladies, and then I started talking to the Thai ladies, and I talked to the lady that was working behind the counter and serving me. And that place was nice, but that was not one of the nicer beaches. It was nice, but it wasn't that nice, and it was part of a national park. Then the one place that I remember was a place where I went, and there was nobody there, and it was kind of developed. They had, and by developed I mean they had walkways around this island, and there was nobody there. The only people that were there were the staff, and there was like 2 or 3 people on the whole island, and that was it. I don't know if you guys remember that. That place was fantastic. If you remember the beach, it was fantastic. I went to Koh Chang in the south, not the one that everybody normally goes to, but the one in the south near Kopayam. And I was gonna go to Kopayam, and then I decided not to because of this German guy. I don't know if you guys remember this far back. It's been probably about 4 or 5 years now. And basically, I went down to the south. I took a boat, an hour-long boat to this island, and then I got this bungalow that was probably 30 feet from the ocean, and it was 500 baht a night. It was called not the Acorn. What the hell was it? The Almond? No, not the. I can't remember now. Yeah, it was this hotel there. I'm trying to remember what the hell the name of it was. But it was really good because you could go in to the restaurant. You go into the restaurant and you just go, can I have some pad thai? And they go, okay. They'd make it up. You write down how much it was. And then at the end of your time there, when you were getting ready to leave, you just paid up. It was great. You didn't have to pay all the time. You didn't have to carry your money. I didn't carry a wallet the whole time I was there. The beaches at that place, I don't know if any of you remember. And if you do, please chime in. Let me know if you remember. I put some videos up of this place. But I went walking around with this German guy, this older German guy, and we went to this little village where there were the, I forget what they call, the sea gypsies, but they're not sea gypsies anymore because of the government, and there's a number of reasons. Anyway, this is their little village. So we went through there. Then we went walking around, and we kind of were stumbling around, and we just went through the brush, and then we come out, and there was this absolutely magnificent golden sand beach. And we were like, wow. I don't know if you guys remember this, but that beach and probably the one at Kokut, but less so because that place was very developed. It was a resort. But once you got out to the beach, it was very nice. But still, it's right next to the resort. It's right behind the resort. But this place that we walked out to, there was no footprints in the sand. There was no people. There was nothing. We were alone there. And I'm like, hey, look at this, man. This is about as good as it gets. There are beaches like that all through Thailand. So you just have to be willing to take the time to look. And not everybody does. Not everybody wants to. Not everybody wants to spend their time looking around for, fantastic places to go. So, anyway. Once we start talking about beaches, nobody talks. What's going on with that? Come on. Hey, leave a thumbs up, please. I got nobody yapping in here, nobody chatting, nobody, what's the deal? Are they not coming through? Are my messages not coming through? Or are you guys just being silent listening? I want to tap on this. Is this thing on? I hate you now. I can't remember what I had for breakfast, and you can remember what you did for 5 years ago. Well, I can't remember what I had for breakfast sometimes, although I remember today what I had for breakfast, because I took the time to cook it before I started streaming. But that place, I remember some of this stuff because of the videos that I have. Yeah, I have a little video going up. I'm not sure. I think next Friday or something. I put a little short members video up. I'm trying to do it every Friday now. And this one is of me on a Vietnamese beach, Quy Nhon Beach. And the beach, unfortunately, the sun wasn't out. It was like a really cloudy, windy day. But I'm on this really nice beach, and there is not one person walking around on the beach. And this beach is long. I don't know how long the beach is, but I mean, let me see. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Holy shit! Wow, the town is the coastline is a 42 kilometer coastline. So let's just say that the beach. Let me see here. Quinyon Beach. Oh, I put Gainon. That's why. Well, the beach is. I think the beach is a couple of kilometers long. Just that particular beach. And there was not a single soul on that beach. So in the video, I'm saying this beach is mine. It's all mine, and I loved it, man. I mean, it was the best. I love that, and I've talked about that. In Vietnam, they got some nice beaches. I haven't spent enough time in Vietnam really though, but that's the other thing, that things do seem to be getting better. And I did see an article that said, "Oh, Bangkok is roaring back." I don't know that it's all that different from how it was 3 months ago. I mean, to me, it's about the same. Now, I don't know. There may be some things that I'm not looking at, but and I think even Andy said this, aside from having to wear a mask and, seeing the little things where you got to put your hand up or take your temperature, that kind of thing, and the rare occasion where you have to show some kind of that you've been vaccinated. Things are the same here. It's not that bad. And that leads me to the next point, which is, I always think of this. When I came over here, it was much different than it is now. Would I come over here now? And I really don't know. Yeah, I don't really know, to be honest. Probably. But there are so many other places that you can go. And, that now I think the world is a little smaller. Maybe not when it comes to flying, but when it comes to research and figuring things out. And I said this before, but a long time ago when I decided, I knew about Thailand from Muay Thai. That's how I learned about Thailand. And then to a lesser extent about Thai food, because there used to be a restaurant near where I used to train, and I used to go to this gym, and it was a Thai gym. I used to have this guy who was a Thai guy who trained me, and so I knew about Thailand because of the Muay Thai and because of the food. So that gave me some connection. And then when I went to the Netherlands, and the Dutch told me, "Oh yeah, you should go to Thailand. It's great." That was like the seal of approval. Now, nowadays there are other things to consider, and one of which is, would you buy a house here if you didn't own the land? Which you don't. Now, I guess it depends on how much you're willing to give up, and are you willing to trust your wife or anybody else for that matter? You're willing to do what you have to do in order to lease the property, and what are you going to do with the building once your time is up? How old are you? You still going to be around? I mean, how much money are you talking about? Is it a small percentage of what you have, or is it a large percentage? There are a lot of things to think about. But there are a lot of other places to go, as I'm always saying. So, I'm at Jomtien Beach, much better of an area than in Pattaya. Yeah, I mean, although, the thing is if you're down on the, like a beach road, now, I don't know, it's not like it's as noisy as it used to be, But, yeah, I agree, Jomtien, I like Jomtien, that area better. Just because, well, I just like it better. I don't Check ticket prices this morning. Flying Thai Airways, $15.50. Oh, okay, for the two of you. So $7.75 a pop. I don't know if that's a good or good or not. I don't know. We got a house in Thailand. When I say we, I mean my wife does. Well, we have a house in the south of Thailand, and when I say we, I mean my wife. And it's, it's just a tiny little village house. It's not anything great. There's no air conditioning. It's old. It's concrete, but it is a place to sleep. And, we have talked for years about, do we want to do anything with that? And she doesn't want to do anything with it. She doesn't want to do anything with it because, her grandfather died there. Her mother, lived there, and then basically went to the hospital and passed away. And, it doesn't have the good, the juju is not so good there. And, and then the other thing is that she grew up there, and she's like, she just doesn't want to. To her, that's a step backwards. Even if we were to build like a house on the property or something, that's a step backwards. And this is something I know that is very important to her. But I think that part, it's like anybody else. It's like me. I used to live in Florida. I love Florida. I still love Florida. Doesn't mean that I'm gonna go back and live in Florida for the rest of my life. Now, that could happen if it was in the right area, the right time. It really depends, but I kind of doubt it. $1,000. Yeah, I mean, when I was going to LA, I would get tickets, from LA to Thailand. I'd go through Japan most of the time, or Taipei. And, I mean, I'd get tickets for $550, $600, and for me, expensive back then was $700. Obviously, that was a long time ago, though, now, so things are different. Prices have gone up. Oh, I know what. Yesterday, I was talking about how there was something that I saw that the price jumped up dramatically, and I could not remember what it was. Well, now I remember. There are these sausages, and they're made by Lucky. The brand is called Lucky. They have these two sausages. One is pork sausage, which I have some in my refrigerator now. The other is pork sausage with cheese inside of them. And I used to buy those because what I would do is I would chop them up, throw them in the pasta, and then the kids got a little bit of cheese, but they also got the sausage in the pasta. Now, those were 165 baht. The regular pork sausage were 149 baht. When I went the other day, the pork sausage, same price, but the sausage with the cheese inside is 195 baht. So from 165 to 195. That's almost a 20% jump, and that is in like a month. So that's a lot. That's why I did that little. When I got the groceries the other day, I go, now I'm buying. We're not going through as many groceries like we used to, and some of it is because we're all doing our own thing. We can't just eat dinner all the time. So if we want to have a dinner on a weekend or something, like tonight for dinner, oh shit, I didn't even get the pasta yesterday. We have pasta, but we don't have the right pasta. We need to get some, on the weekends, what I'll do, or what the wife will do, is we'll get something that we know we like. Nicholas tends to like squid with pork stuffed inside of it. And then we cook that up, we put it over rice. It's very good. He likes it, so she'll go out and buy that stuff. For me, like, tonight for dinner, I'll make some pasta with some meat sauce and some cheese on top of it. We're not going out buying like we used to. We're buying as we need stuff. And some of that is because we're spending too much money on groceries. But the other thing is that the prices are going up. And you know what? Sometimes you can go and get a nice meal. Like Alex and I had a nice meal the other day. It was 100 baht for he and I. Not bad. And we were full. Whereas, you go to the grocery. Every time you go to the grocery, like for me, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to come here. I'm not going to get anything extra. I'm just going to get what I need. And almost inevitably, I buy more stuff than I need. So we have stopped that because of the rising prices here in groceries. And as I said, the prices of street food have gone up. I mean, you want some khao mu. Khao mu's 55 baht now. Khao mu used to be 20 or 25 baht. Then it started going up to 30 baht. It was 40 baht for a long time. It's been 50 baht for the last, I don't know how long, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. And then the other day, I'm like, it's 55 baht now. So, this is how it is. Anyways, booze, bars, beaches, and temples, and women. I think the women are getting more expensive too. At least the kind that you pay for. I'm sure they're a lot more expensive than when I first came here. Which was a purple note. Give them a purple note, they were happy. You go out to a club or something and you go, I'm out of here, see you later. Oh, can I go with you? I'm not paying you. All right. Then, they get ready to leave and they're like, oh, I need some money. What? You said I don't have to pay. And you're like, all right. If you gave them 500 baht, they were happy. That was a long time ago, but inevitably prices rise. They don't generally sink. Now, let's see here. Let's see if I can do this. The good news here is that the number of COVID cases is going up. The deaths are rising very, very slowly. The Thai government, although they say they are thinking of tightening the guidelines a little bit more, so far they haven't done that, and I don't know what they're going to. But what I thought was funny is this article. It's from the Nation ahead of Valentine's Day, and I talked a little bit about this yesterday. Couples get the all clear for normal sex. In other words, they don't have to wear masks anymore. Last year, while the pandemic was spreading, the health department has advised couples and sex partners to wear masks and avoid face-to-face positions to safeguard themselves against COVID-19. You were supposed to take a rapid antigen test before having normal sex. You're supposed to now. Behave prudently during sex ahead of Valentine's Day. Young couples are known to celebrate the occasion by having sex. What about old couples? Old couples don't have sex for Valentine's Day? I mean, come on. That's not really... Yeah, I don't know what the hell they're thinking of here. Let's see here. Last year, eyebrows were raised over the department's Valentine's Day advice to couples to wear masks at all times and refrain from facing each other during sex as a safety measure against contracting the SARS-CoV-2 virus. Many netizens asked how they could have sex without facing each other. That's pretty stupid, actually, but okay, think about it. Mathematically, there's only so many algorithms. It is not known how many people heeded the advice. Not known how many people heeded the advice. Oh, God. He said, the health guy here, I'm not going to read it out. The couples do not have to spend money on antigen tests if they do not visit risky places. But couples like to visit pubs and bars, which are transformed into restaurants and often very crowded. So if you go to a restaurant, you're supposed to test. Where do they come up with this? Has anybody in the United States or somewhere else come out with this kind of thing? Well, they did say in Thailand that by the end of the year they're going to call this endemic. And of course the WHO is like, no, no, no. And they're like, we don't care what the WHO says. So more power to the Thai government for saying that. I think it behooves the World Health Organization to keep this going as long as possible. Lovers in couples who have immunity and who have assessed themselves to be safe or who have checked themselves with ATKs can have mutual activities safely, like dining together and having sex. Oh, wow. Thank you to the government for saying it's okay to have sex now. I mean, if you need the government to tell you things like this, that's just sad as hell. That's just sad. And the fact that the government feels the need to say that, if they said it in a more, I mean, you know, it's like, okay, well, if you're going to have sex and want to face each other, you're going to have to wear a mask. So when you're living in the house together and you're eating dinner together and you're walking by each other, like, you know, she's putting her clothes on, you go over, you grab your shoes or whatever it is and you walk by each other, all those things, that doesn't matter. But hey, since we're going to have sex, now we got to put a mask on. These people would have you wear a mask inside the house while you're sitting alone watching a TV show. And this is what I mean about the illogical logic. I don't know where they come up with this shit. It's just crazy. Well, you know, I've heard about that and the double baggers and all that kind of stuff, but like, come on. And how many people really are, listen, if I cannot imagine a woman or a young lady going to a guy, listen, you know what, we can do it, but you gotta wear your mask, okay? I'm gonna wear a mask. And by the way, put the shield on. Safety, safety. Double mask, you wear the shield. How can you breathe? I don't know, but like, I would think that if you're going at it, especially if you're going at it in a rather good pace, we'll say, you want to breathe. You want to be able to breathe. You don't want to have that mask over your face. So I don't get this. Well, it's not over here yet. And it you know, the thing is that I'm still of the opinion I don't want to go anywhere now because I don't want to give any of these people the right to go, oh, you tested positive. Yeah, but I don't have any symptoms. Yes, okay, we will put you in hospital, okay? No, it's not okay. I'm not going to the hospital. You know, it's not okay. And then you got the whole thing, why is it less money for the tourists to come into the country, their insurance limit? than the people who actually live here. I think it's pretty funny when I see somebody riding on a motorcycle alone and they got 2 masks on and they got their head thing, the helmet on. I just have to shake my head, you know. And I've shown it at Starbucks and walking around. You know, at Starbucks, you got some girl sitting there. She's got 2 masks on. There's nobody sitting next to her. She's got 2 masks on, and she's got an iced tea or something sitting in front of her. And she's drinking from the side of from the mask. You know, just sticking the straw through the side of the mask. What's the point of that? I mean, yeah, okay, so you touch something and you get something, and then you touch your mouth and you get some virus or something. Okay, so clean your hands. Use the alcohol. Where was it yesterday that I was where they made me put alcohol on my hands? Where did I go yesterday? Where did I stream from? See, this is the thing. I'm blanking right now. I know I streamed at a coffee shop. What the hell was the name of that place? I can't remember. Oh, let me think. Somebody help me out here. I think it was on Ekamai. Was it on Ekamai? Near Ekamai. Jesus, I cannot remember. Anyway, I was at a coffee shop. That was the coffee shop. That was the coffee shop that when I went in and I sat down. What did I have? I went to Dark. That's what it was. I went to Dark in M. Courtier. And when I walked in and I sat down, the lady brought over a big, a tube of alcohol, and she went like this, like, to put it on my hands, and I was like, I said, you know what, fine. So she put the alcohol in my hands, and it was kind of like, I don't particularly like that. It's like you assume that the person hasn't done it themselves, which I hadn't, I admit, but it's just kind of crazy. Oh, I know what I had for breakfast today and yesterday. I know, because now that I'm thinking of it, I remember what I spent at Dark yesterday and what I got for it. I could recite that, no problem. The remnants of it now will finish within the next 3 months. Well, maybe. And I said last year or whenever it was, a while ago in the beginning, I said it was going to end. It would get much better around April of this year, and I do think it's going to. But I don't think they're going to practice Songkran this April. I think that is not going to happen. And the reason is because they want things to continue to get better, and in their eyes, in the government's eyes, the health ministry's eyes, if they skip the Songkran, then that's something that could be major, could add a lot of new cases. And so if they skip that for another year, that'll give time for everybody with the vaccine, everybody who's got the Omicron, everybody, and then the next thing you know, they're all going to be okay. We got the immunity, and you often see people pulling their mask down to take a drag off the cigarette. Yeah. Or they got the mask down around their chin. And then it's like, okay, so don't you think maybe you sweat? maybe you get dirt, maybe you get other kinds of stuff around your neck or around your chin, around your face. Is it that safe? I don't know, man. I just have a real problem with the whole mask thing now. I mean, I understand if you're older, if you got pre-existing conditions, if you're around a lot of people. Okay, I understand. Yeah, fine, wear it. Safety, okay. Okay, let's all be safe, right? But like when you're walking around, I just don't. And I think that is something that and the tests that you are required to take to come here, plus the insurance, I think is just too much, and that's why the numbers are quite depressing for who's coming in here. The number of people that are coming in here now. Once told a lady who was wearing 2 masks, "Thank you for wearing 2 masks and not giving me the virus. I couldn't see her full expression, but the wrinkles on her forehead suggested angry. My wife reckons April is too hot in." It's still hot. It's gonna be hot for Thailand's always hot. Don't ever get it twisted. It's always hot here. Even when it's cool, it's hot. Just it gets hotter, and sometimes where you're walking around and you got back sweat and ass sweat. If you're walking around all day, you're gonna get sweaty. Even some of the Thais get sweaty. But really gets me is if you're walking down the street for an hour and you're sweating your ass off, and the person next to you, like one of my kids or my wife or whoever it might be, they're bone dry, and you're like, you're not even sweaty. No, it's not hot. And you're like, what? Say what? No more screen. And then I looked at them and they said, yeah, you don't need a mask. Man, that's the best, man. That's the best, It's great. I love that. And hopefully that will happen sooner than later here. That's all I can say, because I got no control over what's going on here. Nothing I can do about it. But what I do know is that these 2 years, they've gave me some opportunity to travel to some places, and there was nobody in these places, or virtually nobody. Man, when I went to Khao, that place was absolutely dead. I would say 70% of the places were shut down. I only saw 1 or 2 foreigners the whole time there. One was a girl, and I don't remember the other person. Maybe it was the guy who came over. Are you filming right now? I was like, yeah, thanks for stepping in front of the camera and just saying that. I'm like, I'm sitting right behind the camera. I thought that was kind of humorous, but looking back. But that place was completely empty. And you know what? I'm glad. I had a great time there. A couple days, I had a great time. Riley, there were a number of foreigners there. When I went to Nong Khai, there were foreigners there. I mean, all this has been done during this so-called pandemic. And, yeah, I just don't, I think it's time already. I think it's time now. Let's move past it. Let's get back to booze, bars, beaches, and temples. Oh, and women. I'd like to know, for those people who visit Thailand all the time and who travel a lot and who like to go to the beaches, where are some of your favorite places? I know Koh Phi Phi is a good place. What's the other one? I can't remember it. It's yeah, I can't remember it. There's a lot of them though, but I'd like to know your favorite. We went to Kosaboya, which is off of Krabi. We went there many years ago. And the beach was nice, and the island was nice. It was deserted, but when you went out in the water, there were some jellyfish. And so that made going in the water unpleasant. You know, not only can you get stung and but you can also die. So we didn't really go. We went in the water a little bit, and then we started feeling weird, and then we were like, let's get out of here. And then we found out, oh yeah, there's a lot of jellyfish out there. Gotta be careful. But the place was fantastic. I mean, it was great. If you want to take a woman and you want to get away from it all, and all you want to do is, be alone, we'll say, that's a pretty good place to go. You know. You got a view of the beach, and there's nobody around. It's your own personal beach. I like that. And that's not always easy to come by. But in Thailand, if you look, you can find places all the time. There's plenty of places to go. Plus Samui. Yeah, I forgot about Samui. I do love Koh Samui. I do like it there. I've talked about this before, but I went there once, and when I was involved in boxing, I went there, and we set up a ring right on the beach, and a number of our fighters were fighting that day, which is why we did it. But there were a large number of people that came because this is years ago, so there was no pandemic. But right there on the beach, huge number of people. And then, afterwards, once we're done, it was like, all right, where are we going? And we all went out and had a great time. We went to, some little palm frond palm frond little huts right on the beach. We went to some other places that were not like that, a little more traditional kind of places. And then we went right on it was the full moon party, so we went right there on the beach, and we just hung out on the beach and partied on the beach. And, listen, I like that. I don't know that I would want to do that with my family. But, there's some good things about Samui, and I think you can't go wrong there, especially if you're out there to go have a good time and, get a little drunk and have a good time. I think it's a good place to go. Same could be said for areas of Phuket, and I think the jellyfish are bad ones. Saw them along the way. Are you sure you went to Siboya, Thumper? Call Siboya, Siboya, because I've never heard of anybody going there ever. So you'd be the first. Thankfully, the pandemic is not over for us, unfortunately, Mr. Allen. I wish it were. But, all in good time. I'm patient, and you know what? I really have come to enjoy, and I've been saying this lately, and I actually gave Jono a bit of a hard time about it in the beginning. I'm like, dude, you moved over here, and all you do is hang out in your little area. You don't go anywhere. You're not traveling. You're not seeing anything. What's the deal? And he's like, I'm fine. I like what I'm doing. And, it's the same thing now. I'm getting the same way. I don't have to run out and go right away and go somewhere. I don't feel that same urge, that same urgency. I don't have it. I had a nice breakfast this morning. I had an omelet, and I made it, which makes it even better. I had an omelet with tomatoes, red onion, garlic, a little bit of sausage, and a little bit of cheese, and man, it was tasty. The beaches in northern Australia are beautiful. You can't swim in them summer. Box jellyfish, crocodiles, and sharks will kill you. You know, I don't think anybody really loves sharks and crocodiles or box jellyfish. Uh, you know, that's those animals. Nobody wants to go from those animals. You know, I mean, I used to really be into sharks, and I've said this a few times before. When I was really young, I used to go to summer camps where for oceanography, marine biology, and all this kind of stuff, and I really studied sharks. I knew all kinds of things about sharks and snakes and lions and tigers and, you know, animals like that. And so, you know, I knew a fair amount about sharks, and I respected them, and I went diving. And, you know, it was the first time I went to get my my certification, there were sharks. And the guy was like, just take it easy, you know. And in my head, I'm like, oh, that's a shark. But, you know, it's not like I got freaked out because they weren't great whites. You know, they weren't even like tiger sharks or makos or anything. They were like nurse sharks. But I would not want to be in Australia with those crocodiles and those sharks and the box jellyfish and the snakes. Mr. Allen, nobody's saying that the pandemic is not over for you. If it's over for you, great. It's not over in Thailand. If you want to come to Thailand here, then guess what? Take your tests. You're going to have to take at least 3 tests. If you want to do that and you want to pay for the insurance and you want to come over here and risk everything by being, you know, locked down for 10 days, then come on over. But to me, that doesn't mean that the pandemic is over. For you, in your area, it might be over. You know, but that's the way it goes. Yeah, jellyfish are nasty. I've been stung by some before. Obviously not box jellyfish. I didn't die, but I had, I think it was on my, I don't remember, on my legs. Yeah, I mean, come on. The pandemic might be over in your area, Alan, but it's not over in other areas. And, you know, I understand that. To me, it's not a big deal. Especially, you know, what's the point of getting vaccinated so that you won't die and then having to always wear a mask on and always be worried about it? And like yesterday, I talked about this yesterday. I get into the taxi and the guy's got this fabricated divider, clear plastic divider from the front of the taxi, you know, separating the front from the back. And I'm like, dude, what, you did this? Yeah, I did it. Like 1.5 years ago, I did it. I'm like, okay, I guess I understand, you know, in the beginning maybe, you know, but that's a little bit extreme. And I've seen the ones where they got the plexiglass around the driver. You know, it's too much. It's just too much. And, you know, I don't want to be one of the people who is walking around or driving around on the back of a motorcycle or in a song town. I'm the only one not wearing a mask, and then everybody jumps on me. I don't want that to happen, just because I don't want to have to deal with the bullshit. But you know, sometimes I'm like, you know what, this is too much. I'm just not doing it. You know, like sometimes I go to the mall, and I just, on the way to the mall, I'm just like, I'm not wearing a mask. It's too goddamn hot. And I can't breathe, and there's nobody around me. So what am I going to wear it for? Let's see here. Well, I mean, this guy, I didn't put that photo up. I need to put it up in the community tab. But this guy had this big, I mean, it was like this big. It's like a white tube, you know, like the tube with the, I don't know how you describe it, but anyway, it was like a white plastic tube, and it ran from the front, from the air conditioner, all the way to the back. And I'm thinking to myself, you got a hole right above it where people can reach their hand through. It's not like the plastic is sealed. And so I'm like, this is not really, I mean, if you got the air conditioning on, isn't it going to blow any like virus into the back through the holes? Won't those suck it through? I just don't understand it. And so, you know, I mean, I didn't want to be a prick to the guy. Because he was like, oh, it's good, isn't it? And I'm like, oh, you made it? I thought I'll concentrate on him doing the construction. You did this yourself? Oh, that's great. You know, that you could do this. It's fantastic. Ah, wonderful. But I wasn't applauding his use of a plastic, of a clear plastic material to make something that was so safe. I wasn't applauding the safety aspect of it or the necessity. I was simply trying to be positive and applaud him for constructing the thing, you know. But I looked at it and I just went, that's just too much. It's too much. Why can't I say white? I don't know what you're talking about, Mr. Allen. Are you coming from the pub again? You been down in the Guinness? What's the deal? If you are, I'm envious. I'd like to have like a small refrigerator filled up with some Guinness and some Corona and some San Miguel and a few other types of beers. I would like that. And once in a while, I sample a beer. I used to do that. I used to work at a liquor store when I was about 22. I don't, Alan, I don't know what. Does anybody know what he's talking about? Am I missing something here? I got no idea what he's talking about. You on the sauce right now, Mr. Allen? Yeah, I want a Corona. I do. I like Corona. Corona and a shot of tequila, baby. Whew. Well, the thing is, Andy, that, you know, the way that they open up those bars is by proclaiming them to be restaurants, which that in itself makes no sense to me. I mean, what difference does that make? If people are going to go in there, they're going to go in there. What happened? My coffee's all gone? Didn't he make me one, or I drank it already? Must have drank it already. 2 coffees down. 2 double espressos down. I think the most I've had in a day is like 6 double espressos. I don't know about, you know, to me, whatever the mask is, it is. Just get yourself a mask that's supposed to be somewhat safe if you're going to wear it, or you have to wear it. The color of it is unimportant. Get yourself a little pink mask. Get yourself a little frilly Chanel mask. Get yourself whatever you want. White, black, green. Get yourself one that's just got money all over it. That's good. I like that. Get yourself a little, what the hell's a paisley or something like that. Get something like that. Whatever floats your boat. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, that's well. It's not even about that. I think that yeah, after 11 o'clock, that's when things start to happen, Andy. That's when I mean, come on. At 2 o'clock in the morning in Pattaya, there's a lot of drunk people out, and some people just go home, and some people, um, they wander around aimlessly looking for some nasty slut that's walking on Beach Road. Some of the people, like the guy that I saw one time, I always tell the story. It's just flat out embarrassing. There's this guy, he's staggering around, and I was watching him from my my hotel room. I'm watching him from the hotel room. I see this guy kind of staggering around, and I'm like, another dude drunk. Right, and he's one of these guys, with see, why does it have to be that me so hungry? Just because somebody's out late, that is the most idiotic statement. That's more idiotic than your do I believe you kind of thing. Just because you're out late doesn't necessarily mean you're looking for lady boys. Not everyone appreciates them or wants them. I mean, unbelievable. Now, have you ever been to Thailand, me so hungry? I'm just curious. How much experience do you have in the ways of Thailand, and more specifically in the ways of whatever you're into? Anyway, I see this guy staggering. And then all of a sudden, this girl pulls up. I told this story a million times, but I see this girl pull up. She comes screeching up on her motorcycle. And the guy starts in on her. You lie me. Why you lie me? You tell me you love me. I know you have man. I know. Why you lie me? And she said, no, I no lie you. You number one for me. No, I know you bullshit. He's speaking like a Thai girl with the Tinglish. And she's speaking her crappy English. Which I find to be, a bit irritating in that setting. And this guy just went on and on. You tell me you love me. Why you bullshit me? No, honey, I no bullshit you. I go see my friend. I tell you, oh. Why you no believe me? And I just thought to myself, my Lord, never let myself, I never want to ever get that bad in my life, and I never will. And never let any of my friends that I call friends be my friends if they ever act like that. I just thought that is just too idiotic, man. Too crazy for me. And crazy in a bad way. I don't mean crazy in a like, man, he's so crazy. No, that's not what I mean. I mean like he's, that's just too crazy. That's just stupidity mixed with craziness. What happened to Nicholas? He just disappeared. Comes home, just disappears. He's supposed to come home yesterday. He didn't come home. Of course, that was a little bit of an issue with the wife. But she didn't say, why you not come home? She doesn't speak like that, fortunately. All right. Hey, guys, how many times I got to say it? Do me a favor, leave a thumbs up, please. Subscribe. Click the notification bell. I would appreciate that. That would be really very nice of you. And already, and you know what? do me a solid. Sign up for a membership, for a sponsorship, $1.99. That's not even the price of a cup of coffee. Or become a Patreon patron. Get one of my T-shirts. I said today's the last day. It's $25 for a short sleeve shirt. You got to contact me though. You got to send an email to me. But that includes the shipping. Okay. But they've already limited this live stream and already demonetized it. So hopefully they will look at it and say, oh, we made a mistake. It is monetizable. So that I can make my 43 cents or whatever I'm going to make off this stream. Or you can just, there's a PayPal thing down there. There's, what's the other ones? There's the crypto. Don't forget about the crypto. You can get a book. You can get some merch, like I said. You can go into Amazon. That doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't, it'll cost you if you go buy something. But I only get a few cents on the dollar for that. And so, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. So leave a thumbs up, subscribe, check the description, blah, blah, blah. All right? That's how it works. Now, where were we? Where were we? Oof. Nicholas says he doesn't have a girlfriend. He's always been honest with me about that kind of thing. And if he does, that's good for him. Whatever floats his boat. He knows the rules. He knows how to, he knows what's up. Mr. Allen, you're a subscriber on the sauce, and there's nothing wrong with that. As long as you're having fun and you're happy, isn't that all that matters? Anyway. How many of you are coming to Thailand to see the temples? Anybody? See, I think temples are like towards the bottom of the list. I think when it's a guy coming with his girlfriend or with his wife, all right, they may go to see temples because they want to go sightseeing, like truly sightseeing. That's what they're in Thailand for. Sightseeing. But the single guys, I think some of them, they may have reasons like they got a girlfriend, they want to go hang out at the beach and party and get shit-faced. And the byproduct of that, if you're young and you're single, the byproduct of going to the clubs or whatever is that you can hook up with chicks. And not all of them go into the clubs. I'm not talking about the go-go bars, the beer bars, the ones who are working. I'm talking about the girls who go to the clubs because they go with their girlfriends and they're dancing. Not every single one of them is a hoe. They might be, but, that's for you to vet them and check that out. If you look down below the video, down low, you should see something that says join. And that join button should lead you to where you can get a little membership. Yeah, so many people are coming for the temples. Hey, Alan, I won't hate on somebody because they're having a good time on a weekend. Just because I'm older and don't want to do that shit all the time. Because, quite frankly, I can't stand the noise. I don't want to go in and have to, talk over somebody. And I just don't want to deal with it, I did that when I was younger. I did it a lot. Listen, from the time I was 17, 18 years old to the time I was about 33, 34. The first year or two I was married, I still was going to the clubs. Once in a while I would go. And you know, it gets old. There's other stuff you want to be doing. And you know, now I got other priorities, you know. It's like drinking and partying is not a priority, you know. It all depends on what stage you are in your life, you know. And that was something I touched on yesterday, which is that just because you come here and you're 40 years old or you're 35 years old and you think, man, this is the greatest place, and you're out partying all the time, and maybe you got a good little setup where you work online for a few hours every day, and then you know you go out and party and you got chicks and everything. That doesn't mean that in another 5 or 10 years you're not going to go, hey, I want more than this. Which that's, you know, for me, I knew in the beginning I went a bit nuts, and I knew I can't keep this up forever, so I toned it down. And then even then I started saying, this is not the lifestyle I want, you know. It takes time. It may not happen to everybody, but it happened to me. And you know, I didn't want to be a barfly for the rest of my life. Anyway, where are we for time? Oh, an hour and what are we at now? 1:46. So we got a few minutes left. I'm not watching the clock or anything, but I remember that when I was working back in the U.S., and you know, that's been a long time since I worked for anybody else. And oh God. What does that matter? Does it really matter what some hoe says about you? Seriously. She's a hoe. What does it matter? Let's get that straight before I ban your ass for being stupid. That's another thing. Thailand tends to it, and you know, and I'm not saying this about myself. Thailand tends to really bring the nutcases out. You don't see this shit in Ecuador, Portugal, yeah, Philippines sometimes, yeah, you see it for sure, but, you know, you know. Well, why would somebody be stupid enough if they're married to have some whore be able to contact their wife? You know, most of the hoes are not going around looking for the guys. This is the thing. Hit it and leave. Hit it and quit it. I was going to a temple complex out of Pattaya today. I think I might chill at the hotel and surrounding areas, jump in the pool, have a day off. It is supposed to be a holiday, a relaxation time, Andy. And what I find is that vacations sometimes, people feel the need to put so much into the vacation that that it's not really even relaxing, because they're constantly thinking, what can we do? Where are we going to go now? What are we doing next? You know, that kind of thing. And that's no good. Let's see here. I concur, Mr. Dowlow. I concur. Let me see here. Yeah, but why would you give a girl your Facebook that if you're married? Listen, that's just stupid. Somebody who does that's an idiot. I mean, first of all, when I came here, somebody would go, "What's your name?" "Joe." They never asked me my last name. "What's your name?" "Joe." "Really, Joe?" "Yeah, Joe. My name's Joe." "Oh, your name Mr. Joe. Okay. My name's Johnny." What the hell she got to have your real name for? Listen, you want to do something with a chick here if you're married, you better do it on the, chicks ain't stupid, man. So don't be stupid. You're going to do it, you better do it on the slide. That's all I got to say. And that's a good reason why Thai men, they tend to go to the brothels. They drive their car up, they have the thing, the curtain drawn behind them. They go in through the private door, they do their business, and they leave. And the chick inside of the place is not hunting for them, not looking for them on Facebook or Instagram, or trying to find out if they got a Tinder account, some bullshit like that. Now, you get some bar girl and you promise her that you love her and you're going to do this and you're going to do that. You give her all these promises. And, you get your dick inside of her before you put it in. Some of them are going to go nuts. So why would you do that if you're married and you value your marriage? Why would you do that? And that's the whole social media thing. That is a part of today's living that I don't like. I don't agree with. I don't like social media, and I should be clear about that. The only reason I'm on YouTube is when I started it was not quite as bad as it was before, and it's getting worse. And I always say it, but I'm not going to be on here forever. I got a few things to take care of. I got a few more years, and that'll be it. I don't feel the need. And the one thing, and the whole thing is that people trade their privacy for whatever reason. For some it's money, for some it's fame, whatever it might be. And I've been watching a lot about how these Instagram girls work. Like, what would a guy want with some chick on Instagram who's, flaunting it for everybody? Why would they want her? She's probably got a boyfriend anyway. So why would you want her? I mean, okay, if you want her like to just for a couple of hours of fun, okay, great. And then you go, bye, honey. See you later. Oh, do you have a Facebook? Nah, I don't got a Facebook. You got Instagram? Nah, I don't like that social media shit. So, that's my take on it, all right? Don't be stupid, man. Don't be stupid. Don't believe everything that you go into some bar and the girl's like, "Oh, I really like you. You're so handsome." No, I'm not like all the rest. I'm different. I mean, you got to man up. This is Asia, man. First of all, a lot of the women, if it's found out that they're doing things against a man out in public, and it's not a high-profile type of thing, it doesn't reflect on the women very well, because the women have to put themselves out there as well and admit to doing some, "Oh, I knew he had a wife, and but he promised me this and he promised me that." Well, then you're a straight-up hoe. And contrary to what people think, that does matter to some people. Personally, I don't care. For me, it doesn't matter, because like I said, I've been married for a long time. Some guys that are married for a long time, they enjoy it, they like it. Other guys don't. I know several people in Thailand who have been married and they hated it, and now they're just alone, and they're happier. And I know several people who are married here, and they love it. I don't think there's anything wrong with being married as long as you're happy and you and the person that you're with has a good relationship. Why you want? It's a total sad piece of crap. goods dake. What? I don't know what the hell. Oh, have another drink, Alan. It's amazing how you can speak right to my heart. Well, I don't know, but it's, me trying to speak to your heart as opposed to me just saying some things. I learned a lot when I was younger because I used to be the guy who used to think, well, if I'm a nice guy to her, I'm not a bad looking guy. When I had hair and everything like that, and I was young, and I dressed nice, and I thought, hey, I'm a catch. And I would be nice to him. And then, I'd be nice to him once or twice, and then I'd be like, well, what happened to him? And it was, I would be like too easy, too nice, too willing to please them, And then, really, the best thing that happened to me was I started going, fuck them. What do they do? Why do they deserve me? You know what I mean? Like, what about me? And when you go into that mode and you start making yourself more important, and then all of a sudden it becomes apparent that to the women that you are like, hey, I heard this just today, and I've been saying it for a long time. When you stop valuing their triangle, when you stop thinking, oh, it's so good, their little triangle. When you stop valuing that, then all of a sudden they're like, okay, well, what do I have that he wants? Nothing. You got nothing. So what do you have that what's gonna make me want you now? You got anything special? Can you play the the accordion? Can you jump up and down on 3 toes? What is it you got? What's so special about you, honey? And I mean, the same could be said vice versa. If they're out for a little bit of fun. The day I deleted my Facebook account, I felt so good. Of course, I lost many Facebook friends. Not a big deal. To be blunt, what job do have to allows you to live such an open relationship? I'm not sure what you're trying to say. I think if you're talking about an open relationship, I mean, that ain't ever going to happen with me, and I don't want that. But if you're saying what's it going to take to get that, you're going to have to search for a girl who's willing to be into that. And one of the things that you would consider here is, you just get yourself a girl that wants to be taken care of. You pay the money. She goes, I need 30,000 baht a month. You go, okay, but listen, I'm going to bring other girls in. I'm going to be with other women. Are you game? Are you up for it? Boom. That's how you do it. It's going to be about money then. And in rare cases, it might be the sex, it might be that they want you happy or whatever like that. But the majority of the time, especially here, where while they may not be so conservative once you get them in the sack, on the outside they seem to be a bit conservative. Oh, thank you, Andy. Thank you, John Paul. Appreciate that, guys. Choke D to you guys. Appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, like, what job to have to allow you to live such an open relationship? See, I don't have an open relationship. And I don't really want one. I never have wanted one. I don't care. I sowed my oats. Sow your oats beforehand if you're going to get married. If you're the kind of guy who goes, well, I want to be with this kind of girl, and I want to go with that kind of girl, and I want to have a threesome, and I want to do this, and I'm going to do that shit before you get married. Or maybe if you get really lucky, you'll have a wife who's understanding, and she's okay with that, or she's into it. I don't see that happening all that often, especially here. But then I'm not into that kind of scene. and I don't want to be, you know. I mean, I can talk about stuff, but when it comes down to me and my wife, I mean, you know, our relationship is very private, and she knows how I think, I know how she thinks, and we don't want, you know, anything coming in between that, you know. We wouldn't, yeah, there's some things that, you know, like she's a conservative, very conservative woman from a conservative area of the South where she's from. And everybody that I knew from down there, everybody that I've seen, I mean, you know, I know some that, you know, they had a couple of husbands or a couple of boyfriends and that kind of thing. But when I say conservative, I mean, for the most part, they're not like looking to, you know, they're not like some chicks in the U.S. where they're looking to get boned by, you know, the most handsome guy with the most amount of money. I mean, if that happened for them, they're not going to complain. But you know, Thailand is a bit more traditional than like the United States when it comes to how the women are. However, there are some very shrewd Thai business women who are like on Instagram and maybe Facebook. And I'm not going through, the thing is I don't want to go through and read the Thai. I mean, I can read Thai, but it's slow going, you know. It depends on what it is, but if it's something lengthy, it'll take me a while to get through it. Where, you know, a Thai could just go boop, 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 and they're done. If it's one line, two lines, that's pretty easy. But, like, I wouldn't want to, I don't know. I think there's a big difference between Thailand and other places. And maybe that's why some people really like Thailand. I like the fact that here in Thailand, if you do not set out to mess with someone, you do not go and get in their face, give them a hard time. Nobody will do that to you. In the U.S., I didn't get that. I had people coming up to me all the time, you know, like, and getting, whether it was getting aggressive, asking for this, asking for that, and I'd be like, get the fuck out of my face, man. And then, of course, they got pissed off, and then it would be a big thing, you know, and it's like, man, who needs that shit? Like, you know, where's this aggro coming from? You know? Like, for what? And here, you don't have that. I mean, once in a while, maybe, but for the most part, you don't get it. It's not around. You don't have to deal with that shit. Now, if you go around spouting, talking shit and spouting off to people, that's a different story. Thais will eventually crack, and they'll get pissed. They'll do, or, you know, and then like the case of the guy pouring a beer on the girl the other day. That was just stupid. That was a drunk guy. My wife caps out at 5,000 baht per month. My wife is extremely conservative, and so are all her family and friends. Thailand is a conservative country outside of the tourist areas. Yes. And, you know, there are women out there, Thai women, and I'm not saying they're not conservative, but there are Thai women who they purposely set out to get foreigners. That's what they want. They don't want the Thai way. They want the foreigner way. But there are some that go out there and they are very, very shrewd, and they know what they want, and maybe they're hot as shit, and they know what they're after, and so they're willing to do whatever they have to, but only if the guy has something special that she wants. Like, you know, if I'll give you an example. My buddy used to tell me this all the time, and I didn't understand it at the time. I mean, I did, but I didn't understand the depth of it. He would say to me, you know, if you bring a Thai chick over to your place and you got some little tiny studio apartment and you got the furniture from the apartment complex, they got the furniture in there, and it's a bunch of, you know, inexpensive kind of furniture, and you got like a little water maker, and you know, that's about it. You know, you got your clothes. Chick's gonna go in there and she's gonna go, this guy's got nothing. He ain't got nothing. What's he got that I want? You bring her over to a house. And I remember actually showing a picture of my old house, not this house, my old house, and where my wife and I and the kids lived for many years down there, down 111, Lot Pro 111, next to Wayne Hospital. And I showed her it, and she saw some of the things. This girl, I was just showing her pictures of my family and stuff, and she saw some of the things in the picture, and she's like, "Oh, it looks like you. Oh, wow, your house is nice. You've got a lot of stuff." And to me, I'm like, it's okay. We got what we need. You know what I mean? But like to some people, they see the stuff and they go, "Oh, wow." So girls would come in. You bring a girl in your place. If you got a nice apartment, or like a really nice apartment, you got a house, whatever it might be, condo. You bring the girl in. Sometimes the way that their mind works, they walk in and they go, "Hey, look at this guy's got nice furniture. He's got his place is really decorated nicely. He's got a big Apple computer, and he's got a laptop sitting over there. He's got a 60-inch TV, and he's got all the appliances, and he's dressed in a nice polo shirt or a Hugo Boss or something like that shirt, and everything is money." That girl, she knows. They're not stupid. I go wearing around. I started wearing T-shirts and just because I didn't give a shit. I don't have anybody to impress. To me, I'm like, if I don't impress you with me, then that fine. I don't care. I don't care. What do I need to impress you with how I dress for? Sometimes, when you go into a certain area, if I go into a business environment, that's a different story. But for the most part, I'd be like, I'm married. What does it matter? I don't give a shit. As long as I'm clean and smell good, I got some stuff on that, cost a little bit of money. What does it matter? But there are some women that will go in and they will look around, and like if you're wearing, a cheap shirt, some girls might go, I don't know, I don't think he's up to my, and this girl might not have a pot to piss in, and that's what's so funny. I know several of my wife's friends who want a foreigner, although with their situation, they'll unlikely draw a Thai man because of their baggage. Yeah, okay, so a foreigner's going to go after a Thai girl who's got the baggage. Why? Why? What do they need that for? Really, what do you need baggage for? Who needs baggage? If you got a little bit going on, why do you need it? Listen, I always say this. If you come to Thailand, I'm not talking about back in the U.S. because things are different and I don't even know how they are. And granted, I don't really even know how things are in Thailand to some extent, but the rules of the game kind of remain the same here. The cost might be different. What is expected might be slightly different, but for the most part, are you clean? Do you look decent? And do you have enough money to make the girl think that you can at least take care of her to the extent where you're going to have food on the table, she can go out once in a while and have a nice meal. I mean, like a lot of these girls here, they are not looking for the richest guy on the planet. They're not looking for that top 1%, top 10%. They're not. They're looking for a guy who's going to take care of them, be nice to them, and who has a bit of money, who they're going to be fine with. They know that you'll do your best for them. That's what they want. And, maybe they're setting their standards a little bit low. I know that there are some girls out there who are smoking hot, and they just don't believe in themselves, and they end up with some guy, and the guy's got a little bit of dough. He's not rich. And that's why I always say, you hear people say, what was it that one person told me? You're batting above your average or something like that. I never think that way. I would never think that way. I know that there are, you should remember this. There are women in Thai society, they don't want nothing to do with you. It doesn't matter how you look, how you dress. They don't care. They want one of their own. And they will freely admit that. And if you were to change them, you better have something very, very special about yourself. You better be, a star singer in Thailand and around the world. You better be somebody who's got something really going on. Then they might change their mind. But Thai women do not want secondhand stuff, and neither do Thai men. They don't want women who have kids. The women don't want guys who have kids either. However, if they got enough money, they're willing to overlook it. They don't want old cars for the most part. Thai women, Thai men, they don't want to buy old cars. Now, they may get an old car and restore it. A guy might do that. But for the most part, they don't want secondhand stuff. So, have fun, Andy. That Tinder swindler fooled them with all his brand clothes and his $1 million lifestyle. Well, and I've said this for a long time. You never show them. You never show them and you never tell them. None of their damn business. None of anybody's business. Better to cry poor. Really. Or just not say anything about it. You got something to take care of. I mean, most of the time it doesn't matter. Hey, listen, if I want to go on a round the world trip and I want to do this I want to travel around the world for like 2 years. That's going to cost you a bit of money. So if somebody says to you, hey, why don't you do that? Well, not right now, Or I don't have the money. You can say that. Maybe you do have the money, but you don't want to spend it. But what business is it of theirs? When they ask you, what do you do? And I used to say this in the beginning, and I think it's funny. Like, what do they need to know what you do for? Why? You know why? Because then they can gauge your value. But if they ask you, you go, and I said this before, I'm an elevator repairman. Or I sell matchbooks. Or I fix lighters. I'm a lighter repairman. Huh? What the hell does it matter to them? Now, once you establish that they matter to you and that they have something going on in their lives, then that's okay. And I think that a lot of men who come to Thailand, and I could be wrong about this, but from what I've seen it in the past, I think most of the men who come here, it's not about, the chick is the hottest chick, she screws my brains out. All right, that's great. But especially the older guys, and I'm talking about guys my age, guys 70, guys, even guys in their, say, 40s and 50s. They want a companion. And that's why a lot of the guys are like, no, I don't want her to work. I just want a companion. I want her to be with me every minute of every day. I can tell you that when my wife and I are with each other every minute of every day, we're like, okay, I got to take a break. I'm going out for a walk. I'm going to the mall. We don't want to be around each other every single second of the day. Some guys, they like that. And some Thai girls, that's what they feel like that's what they can do. I take care of you, you take care of me. That kind of thing. What happened to Gennaro? Where did he go? Fell asleep already? Bailed on me? No goodbye? No more goodbyes, Gennaro? What's up with that, man? He's probably listening. Where's the moderator? Mr. Moderator, where is he? Anyway, we're at about 2 hours now. Oh, we're actually a little bit over 2 hours. Wow, time flies when you're having fun. The age and having children is something that's why Thai guys, a lot of Thai guys, they want the girl that they marry to be pure when they meet them. They don't want to know that the girls run through all kinds of guys. And in one sense I understand it, in another, no. But the good thing about Thai women is that they pick things up fast. They learn. It's not just Thai women; it's women in general, and guys in general. Most guys, hopefully, they would learn, but the women especially, they learn. They learn what the guys like, and They're not stupid. That's a, you know, this is something that men who come here don't always understand. You know, for some of these women, there's no bigger, better deal. You are the last stop for them. They land you, and that's a good deal. They're happy. Yeah, I mean, it is. It's important. And, you know, I think something else that people don't talk about, don't make me laugh, Alan. I think it's something people don't really talk about is that, you know, if with Thai women, they tend to know what they want. Especially once they get a little bit older, they know what they want. You know. Now, you know, it depends. Again, this is one thing. Don't think you're gonna find a wife in a whorehouse. You know, yeah, there's a chance you might if you know what you're doing and you're sharp. But for the most part, don't ever think that way. Because why would you do that? First of all, why? You know, if you get lucky, that's one thing. If you know what you're doing, that's one thing. But you don't set out to do that. What you do is, like I said earlier, you hit it and you quit it. You know, go have your fun, hit the bars. If you're coming here, especially, you know, and if you're doing that, you're a single guy here and you live here, definitely don't get into don't fall into the trap. And that trap is, I got to go out every night. I can't miss out. I got to, you know, hey, I'm going to the club tonight. And, you know, that's everything in your world. I find that from what I've seen, the majority of people, they're not, you know, Floyd Mayweather. They're not Richard Branson. They're not one of these guys who can just hang out in the club all the time and everybody loves them and they don't have to worry about a thing. That's not how it works. You know, if you look at the beer bars, especially, I don't know about now, but I'm going to say definitely before everything went down and everything started shutting down. But if you look, there would always be bars and, you know, there'd be one or two guys who is at that bar every single day. And every single night they're drunk or they maybe they go with the girl. And the girl, at that point, if the guy's that much of a lush, they're usually not getting the greatest looking girls. They're getting the rough ones. Because those are the only ones who know that they can just tune the guy out. And as long as the guy doesn't get violent with them or whatever, I just want the money. I'm just not going to worry about how this guy is. It's nothing personal to them. It's a business thing. You know, that's why they tend to be a little rougher. Because the younger ones don't have to put up with that shit. They don't have to be sitting around with some guy who's drunk off his ass. Now, maybe they're a drunk too, and that might be a marriage made in heaven or hell, you know? So, anyway, have your fun. Fun is what's important. Fun, fun, fun. It's not about, you know, getting too smashed, having too many women, or whatever. There is such a thing as too many women because it's the distraction. Think about it. And I know this because back in the States, there was a couple of times when I was like, well, I've got this girl on the hook and that girl on the hook and I'm banging this one, I'm banging that one. And I'm, you know, it didn't happen all the time. But once in a while, I would have something like that happen. And I'd be like, man, I'm tired. I don't have enough money to fund all this. You know. It'd be like, oh yeah, let's go out to dinner. Okay, that sounds great. And then I'd call them up. Hey, listen, how about I just cook you, you know, a meal and you come over and we'll watch TV. You know, because I didn't have the money to take them out. You know. So, hey, that's how it is, you know. Anyway, I think this stream is about run its course. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. If anybody has anything left to say, speak now or forever hold your peace. It is interesting to talk about the things here because, you know, Let's see if I can do this here. When people talk about Thailand, or any other place, if you're going to go travel, there's usually a reason to go travel. Why do I want to go travel to the Congo? Why would I ever want to do that? The challenge, and also because I'd like to see the place, because it's a regressing country, and I'd like to see what that's about. But that's maybe I'll never do that. I don't know. And other places I'd like to see. Yeah, I'd like to see Oz. All right, I admit it. I'd like to go there. But I'd like to see Ireland. I haven't been there. There's a few places I'd like to go, and there's reasons why. With Ireland, that's my background, Irish background from years ago, from 160 years ago, something like that. So, I've got some kind of an interest. But with Thailand, listen, Westerners, they want to come here for a number of reasons. But what I find is the younger guys who come with their girlfriend or something like that, they're not out to get laid. They're not out just for, to have a good time and just party. They're out for the whole experience, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. I think it's great. And, when it comes to the backpackers, that's what they're all about. And now, granted, there are backpackers out there who towards a rose for Bo. Oh, aren't you sweet, Dallo? Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Choke D to you. Listen, I'd buy her a rose. I swear to you. Now I haven't bought her a rose in, I don't know when the last time it was, but a couple years. 2 years, we'll say. Now she might go, oh, thank you, I think I bought some like a year ago, and I put them on the table. They were just like not really for her. They were the centerpiece. And I used to get roses. They had these roses that they would sell in the Waitani Hospital. They were like 10 baht a rose. So I'd buy, a dozen roses for it. It was like, like $4. And I was like, man, you can't beat that, But now it's like, what are you getting me those for? You don't have to buy me a rose. Get me a plant. They don't die, She used to get I would give her roses when we first started going out, and she had like little scrapbooks, and she'd put the rose petals in the scrapbook and that kind of thing, But that was more than 20 years ago. So, yeah, that's right. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day here in Thailand. It's a big day, and let me tell you, I don't want to be going out. You think I want to go out? You're going to go to restaurants. The restaurants are going to be completely full. The mall is going to be a madhouse. That's how it is. So, it's great that you have a nice, lovely day together with your loved one. Not with somebody that you're just like, yeah, I met this chick and she's so great. I think I'm going to buy her like a dozen roses and show her how much I care. No, don't do it. For what? She ain't going to buy you shit. She's not going to buy you a damn thing. Well, I just want to be nice. Okay, you want to be nice. That's great. Watch how long your relationship lasts. You're too nice. Watch. You can be nice when she's nice to you. You don't have to be mean or unpleasant. But what I mean is, you don't have to kiss their ass, and don't put them on a pedestal. Freaking guys, man. Too many guys, man, they come here and I see that. And I see it I've seen it in the mall the last couple of days. I've seen guys and they're like walking behind their wives, holding their hand like, honey. It's like, what's happening? What's happening in the world? It's not just Thailand. Thailand is easy. They make it easy for the man. You need a little action? You need to get your weasel greased? You just come on over, you pay a little money, boom, you get it done, and you get on your merry way. End of story. You don't have to deal in a relationship. You want a relationship, be smart about it. you know? So, I'm not either way. It's just the only thing you have to do is use your brain. Don't think with the little head, think with the big head. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it. Do remember to leave a thumbs up. For sure, leave a thumbs up. Subscribe. Click the notification bell. I do not believe I'll be around tomorrow, streaming tomorrow. Maybe not Tuesday. I don't know. I'm not sure. But definitely not tomorrow. So that's all I have, really. Yeah, what else? That's it. That's it. Have a good one. Stay out of trouble. Thank you, Mr. Dallo, as always. Appreciate it. And, live your life, man. Do what you want to do. Have a good one. I'd say, there's a lot of guys in this chat now. They're old timers, or they've been around the block a little bit. They know. And so I feel like I'm preaching to the choir. But there are a lot of younger guys and guys who just don't have much experience at all. And, you still get trampled on if you're not careful here. Or anywhere else for that matter, but especially here. The girls will eat you up alive, man. So be careful. And I've already, had many conversations with men here who are in the middle of shit that they never needed to be in the middle of, It ain't easy, but it can be easier, So, I've said enough. Anyway, yeah, Jim, take it easy. Thanks for all the input from everybody. And until next time, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Choke D, Leo, Jerkin, my. Good luck, and see you later. See you when I see you.